Tonight on News 5 Live, Belize left in the dark after Mexican power suddenly disappears. With local generation falling 19 megawatts short, new questions tonight about the reliability of the national grid. Public officers abandon their posts, shutting down tax services in protest of the proposed Revenue Authority bill. Their warning tonight: too much power, too little protection. A major telecom takeover collapses. BTL walks away from its bid to acquire SpeedNet, but offers few answers about what changed. Carnival refuses to be dimmed. 4 powerhouse bands light up night 3 of the mass camp visits across Belize City. And Shyne raises the stakes in the UDP leadership battle, seeking more than $1.4 million in damages. Good evening, Belize. I'm Sabrina Daly, and News 5 starts right now.
Every dream begins with an opportunity. Every dream begins with an opportunity, and every opportunity has the power to change a life. This year, Belize Bank proudly welcomes 16 outstanding new scholars during its 14th annual Scholarship Award ceremony, recognizing young Belizeans whose academic excellence, leadership, and determination inspire us all.
When I look around the room today, I see future entrepreneurs who will build businesses. I see future doctors who will heal families. I see engineers who will design infrastructure, teachers which will inspire the next generation.
For Belize Bank, a scholarship is more than financial assistance. It's a commitment to each student's future through guidance, encouragement, and mentorship from members of our management team. Today, we celebrate 16 new scholars, more than 250 lives transformed, one shared future. Because when we empower our youth, we empower our nation.
This newscast is brought to you by the Belize Bank Limited. Our country, your bank.
Welcome back. Belize's dependence on imported electricity was laid bare last night when a disruption in Mexico triggered a major power failure here at home. Belize Electricity Limited says supply from Mexico's Comisión Federal de Electricidad suddenly dropped around 7:30 p.m., forcing the utility to cut power across several parts of the country to prevent further instability on the national grid. But the interruption from Mexico was only part of the problem. At the time of the outage, Belize could generate approximately 103 megawatts locally, while evening demand had climbed to 122 megawatts. That left the country facing a shortfall of roughly 19 megawatts, with too little domestic capacity available to immediately fill the gap. BEL says seasonal conditions have reduced output from some renewable energy sources, while several generating units are either undergoing maintenance or operating below capacity. Electricity from Mexico returned around 11 p.m., more than 3 hours after the system collapsed. While BEL says its teams continue to monitor the grid and take steps to limit further disruptions, the outage raises new questions about whether Belize can reliably meet peak demand when imported power suddenly disappears. As Belize grapples with ongoing power shortages and an increasingly strained electricity supply, the country's dependence on Mexico's CFE is once again under the spotlight. On Wednesday, Belize Electricity Limited warned that load shedding may be necessary across several districts after CFE indicated it could curtail power exports due to high demand on the Mexican grid. The advisory places thousands of homes and businesses at risk of blackouts stretching from Orange Walk to Punta Gorda, exposing the vulnerability of Belize's energy security. For years, officials have touted efforts to diversify power generation. Yet today's reality remains that when Mexico struggles to meet its own demand, Belize feels the impact almost immediately. As residents prepare for hours without power, the latest load shedding schedule highlights Belize's continued dependence on energy decisions made outside its borders. Staying cool in Belize's rising heat may be costing you more than you realize. Air conditioners are now more affordable and widely used. But experts say simple mistakes can force them to work overtime and send electricity bills soaring. So, is your AC driving up your bill, or could another appliance be the real culprit? News 5's Paul Lopez investigates.
With Belize getting hotter, many households are turning on the AC to beat the heat. Engineer Jordani Williams says air conditioning units are no longer reserved for a select few because lower prices have made them more accessible.
It's across the board. As soon as somebody can afford it, and they're getting much cheaper nowadays as well. And so you start seeing a lot more people from different tax brackets that are purchasing AC.
The hotter the day, the harder your AC works and the more electricity it uses. BEL Executive Chairman Niño says compressors consume significantly more power as temperatures rise.
Our AC, for that kind of temperature difference, might burn 50, maybe 60% more energy than it normally would burn for the same period of time for the same temperature.
Young's explanation checks out, but the good news is that AC users can take simple steps to reduce their electricity consumption. Williams says cutting energy use may be easier than most people think.
You go into many places, homes, even commercial spaces, and you see if they have a what we call a minute splitter high wall unit, it's at 16 degrees, which is 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Given the construction that we have in Belize, it is virtually impossible to reach that without very insulated walls, roofs, ceilings, and so forth. And so once you have that AC set at 16, it doesn't make the AC cool better or anything like that. It just makes it work a lot harder.
Williams recommends setting the AC between 23 to 24 degrees Fahrenheit and a point or two lower in extreme instances. Servicing AC units regularly also helps to decrease energy consumption.
But usually once you have it on cool, that's the recommended setting.
Cool.
Yeah, cool. Whatever. Always be there. You always see that snowflake.
Yeah, that's universal sign.
I always see that snowflake, right? Usually I like keep the fan pan medium. That usually work good for me, just because I know that it'll take out more and more sheltered room.
At its core, an AC unit's energy use depends largely on the atmospheric temperature. These tips will likely save you some money on your next electricity bill. But, as Williams recently learned, they won't altogether shield you from the sharp increases many Belizeans are seeing in their energy bills.
I know in the past month, I think our bill went up significantly, at least 33%. So, and I keep my temperature high. I keep it at 78 when I go to bed.
So I mean, the advice you to give you use?
Yes, 100%.
So you feel like if you never implement some of these same advice that your bill could have been way higher?
I don't want to imagine how high that bill would be.
AC units are heavy energy users, but better habits should help control the cost. Williams made those changes, yet his electricity bill still went up. If his appliances are not the only issue, could BEL's smart meters be part of the problem? Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.
Belizeans were left in the dark last night, and today the opposition is demanding answers and financial relief. The unplanned countrywide power outage came as households were already grappling with higher electricity costs, including the first 1.5-cent increase under the new cost of power adjustment framework. At a press conference today, UDP leader Taegar-Panton called on the government and Belize Electricity Limited to be more transparent about the country's energy challenges and the rising burden on consumers. She also urged the government to set aside an estimated $40 million to provide immediate assistance to families struggling to pay their bills and keep the lights on.
we suggest that we remove the GST from the full electricity charge wherever it applies, not merely from the 1.5 cents copper component for an initial 12-month emergency period. Our rough calculation suggests that that would come at a cost of just under 40 million Belize dollars. We know that the government has recently procured US $100 million from the government and people of Taiwan for general financing support. And 40 million US of that amount is going to be used before the end of 2026, and we do not know how that money will be utilized. And so we ask the government to put aside $40 million Belize of that US amount to provide direct relief to households. Suspend disconnections and late penalties on genuinely disputed accounts while an independent review is underway. Payment plans cannot substitute for determining whether the bill is correct or not.
Hundreds of millions of dollars have been poured into Belize's energy sector. But opposition leader Tracy Taegar-Panton says consumers are still waiting to feel the benefits. With electricity costs continuing to squeeze families and businesses, Taegar-Panton is questioning what became of the promised relief from major acquisitions, financing agreements, and renewable energy projects. Today, she called on the government to account for those investments and outlined several measures she believes could lower bills immediately and bring greater oversight to the sector.
This blue PUP Belizean administration cannot celebrate $332 million acquisition of the hydroelectricity dams from Fortis, a US $28 million smart meter program, a US $66 million financing from the Saudi Fund for Renewable Energy, a US $40 million via the MCC grant facility for energy sustainability, a Belize $73 million quote-unquote investment in BEL, and a US $100 million loan from the government and people of the Republic of China for general budget support, while families and taxpayers who will have to pay back those loans cannot afford to keep their lights on and keep their businesses operating optimally. We're not proposing that public money be used to conceal inefficiencies indefinitely. We are proposing immediate, time-limited relief while this matter can be sorted out post-haste. So we say to the government of Belize and BEL, verify the bills, publish the calculations, release the Fortis evaluations and contracts.
Panton also criticized the government for its consideration of purchasing electricity from Guatemala amid Mexico's energy crisis, arguing that the move may have dangerous consequences. After the break, the lights may flicker, but Carnival refuses to fade. 4 powerhouse bands ignite Mass Camp Night 3.
My business is dependent on staying connected. I need quality service at affordable prices, and most importantly, I need to know that if ever there is a problem, my provider will be held accountable. See, the thing is, the people need their shoes. Whether we have many utility providers or just one, as a nation, the service we receive should always be exceptional. And that's where the Public Utilities Commission comes in. And JBV needs the PUC to be FTP for the people in situations where a single provider dominates. It is the PUC's responsibility to step in and ensure that our interests are protected and that we get quality service at affordable prices. I expect them to put the requisite laws in place to oversee the market and promote equity. I also expect them to discourage unfair practices and promote accountability. Lastly, I need the Belizean people to know that the PUC's decisions directly impacts our quality of life. Therefore, it is imperative that they remain guided by the law, informed by evidence, and made to remain transparent, like the Ministry of Shoes. At the end of the day, we all want a great return on our investments, and my Belizean people need to know that our providers are being held accountable. The PUC is here to help make that happen. And as the Minister of Shoes, transparency, accountability, and excellence is exactly what I promote, the JBV way.
The PUC's decisions are guided by the law, informed by evidence, and made in the best interest of Belize.
Kayo, we have exciting news for you. RFNG Life Insurance is now officially in your town. Now, you can visit our office to pay your life insurance premiums or speak to our dedicated agent, Mayeli, about securing your future with the right coverage.
Hi, my name is Mayeli Hoy, your designated agent here at RFNG Life in the Cayo District. I'm here to help you explore your options, answer your questions, and find the perfect policy for you and your loved ones.
Whether you're looking for life insurance, critical illness coverage, or future saving plans, we've got you covered. Take the first step towards securing a stable and prosperous financial future for you and your family. RFNG Life Insurance, now in Cayo. Visit us today or call to schedule an appointment. Your future starts here.
Join us for the next episode of the Belize Travel Beat as we speak about an important topic, destination weddings, Belize, its opportunities and its threats.
Hi, my name is Samantha Ramirez and I'm a representative from Vows Belize. Make sure to tune in on the next segment of Belize Travel Beat podcast.
Hi, I'm Kitsia Morales. I'm president of the International Association of Destination Wedding Professionals. Join us for the next episode of Belize Travel Beat.
Hi, I'm Deb Gilhari-Arana, Travel Trade Specialist at the Belize Tourism Board. Tune in to the next episode of the Belize Travel Beat, where I'll be speaking about destination weddings in Belize.
The next station is not just a place. It's the vacation capital of the world. Mexican Caribbean, the vacation capital.
My name is Dr. Joyanne Difubab, and I am the Research Director here at the University of Belize. I hold a Doctor of Education degree, which I gained at the University of Waikato in Hamilton, New Zealand. Some 10 years after, I went to the University of Reading Henley Business School and completed an MBA. As a research director, I have been involved in conducting, writing up, publishing, presenting research, even though that is not one of the scripted job responsibilities. The most recent is the Journal of Belizean Research Special Issue on Human Rights, where I served as the guest editor and also authored a paper alongside more than 11 other University of Belize researchers. And for them, that research need not necessarily be part of their own research agenda. Additionally, there is a recent publication on visual methodologies and methods for Caribbean research, edited by myself and my colleague, and involving at least 8 Belizean authors. So in this way, we have contributed to the knowledge around research areas that are under-researched here in Belize. The future of research at the University of Belize is bright. We have had several members of our community become part of the research movement and conduct research in a wide range of areas. These areas can be seen on our research office webpage. My name is Dr. Joyanne Difubab. Here at the University of Belize, we are not just sharing knowledge, we are shaping the future.
A proposed overhaul of Belize's tax system triggered a temporary shutdown across the country earlier today. Public officers abandoned their posts, bringing tax services to a standstill as they push back against legislation they say threatens their livelihoods and places too much power in the hands of the Minister of Finance. Tonight, the unions are warning that today's walkout could be just the beginning. News 5's Paul Lopez reports.
Operations at Belize Tax Service offices across the country ground to a halt just before midday as employees walked off the job to protest the proposed Revenue Authority bill.
Well, I'm very pleased with the report that I received from the various offices of the Belize Tax Services Department. It shows me that the staff are taking ownership and taking responsibility for their future. Clearly, their management, their entire management team has abandoned them, which is a damn shame. When your employees face the kind of anxiety and uncertainty about their job security, that is where true leaders show up and try to alleviate or reduce those fears. Instead, the management team of the BTSD has become parrots. No job will last, and start with repeat government nonsense. Shame on you and shame on the entire management team. You guys are disgraceful.
Workers say the proposed authority would give the Minister of Finance too much control over major appointments and contracts, with fewer independent checks and balances. They are also concerned that Belize Tax Service employees could lose important public service protections, including pension security, Public Service Commission oversight, and guarantees of continued employment.
Service Union is not against reform. The Public Service Union is not against revenue collection in Belize. This is about protecting workers.
Job security is a major concern. Workers are concerned about the lack of clear guarantees regarding continued employment and the protection of their existing terms of condition.
Solidarity?
Forever!
Solidarity?
Forever!
What do we want?
Kill the bill!
What do we want?
Kill the service!
Solidarity?
Forever!
Solidarity. Kill the bill. That's the chant heard outside of BTS offices across the country. PSU's first Vice President, Anissa Perdomo, says workers are not receiving enough clarity and assurances from their management teams and the government on the proposed transition to the statutory body.
Our message today was kill the bill, but even if they don't kill the bill, it needs definitely revision on the bill. So let's see what happens next, and we will continue standing up, and the staff has made it very clear this won't be the last time that they'll be out here.
The workers have made their opposition clear, but can they derail a financial bill that is already on its way to the Senate?
And of course, we'll be lobbying the social partners, senators, that when that bill goes to the Senate, that they reject it. Of course, the government wants to say, yeah, well, don't know the waste of the time because money bill, it has to do with finance, so we could ram that through. Well, that is where the people will then have to stand up.
The Revenue Authority bill is moving on to the Senate, but union leaders say they are just getting started. They want Belizeans to keep a close eye on what lawmakers do next. Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.
The proposed Revenue Authority bill is facing another wave of political resistance, this time from UDP leader Tracy Taegar-Panton. She urges that the legislation would place sweeping authority in the hands of the Minister of Finance, a portfolio held by Prime Minister John Briceño. Panton warns that concentrating so much control under one office raises serious questions about transparency, oversight, and political interference in the management of the country's revenue system. Here's how she explains her concerns.
There are lots of issues with this bill. Who the bill represents in terms of which agencies the bill will be collecting resources for, and also who is controlling it. There is one person, absolutely one person, who will be making decisions, controlling the advisory committee, appointing the CEO, appointing the deputies of the CEO, deciding when and how which pieces of legislation will apply. And you know who that one person is according to the law? The Minister of Finance, who happens to be the Prime Minister of Belize.
As we've reported, the bill will be debated in the Senate next week. One of the biggest potential shakeups in Belize's telecommunications industry is officially off the table. Belize Telemedia Limited has abandoned its plan to acquire SpeedNet Communications Limited, ending a proposed deal that could have brought two major players in the local telecom market under common ownership. In a letter dated August 24th, BTL formally notified the Public Utilities Commission that it had withdrawn the submissions filed in February and no longer intended to pursue the acquisition. The company said it entered the process hoping to strengthen the telecom sector, improve efficiency, encourage investment, and deliver better services to consumers. But BTL did not explain exactly what derailed the deal, saying only that a change in circumstances forced the company to walk away. With the proposed transaction no longer being considered, BTL says the PUC can now end its review. The decision leaves SpeedNet operating independently and raises fresh questions about what changed behind the scenes after months of regulatory consideration. Independent bus operators say they are being asked to survive without a safety net, while a government-backed competitor receives valuable public support. The United Democratic Party is accusing the government of tilting the playing field in favor of the national bus company, even as private operators face uncertainty over the future of the diesel subsidy. At today's press conference, UDP Chair Shyne questioned the transfer of public assets and the granting of tax and duty concessions to a company in which the government holds an interest. She warned that the arrangement could squeeze independent Belizean operators out of the industry, threaten local livelihoods, and place more control of the country's public transportation system in fewer hands.
The Belize Bus Association says operators have continued absorbing unsustainable diesel costs after a temporary subsidy expired. They wrote to the government before that subsidy ended and have repeatedly requested assistance. Government has said it may or may not continue the subsidy. Government made some Belizeans feel like that the bus operators are the problem, that they are greedy, that they are unreasonable. But at the very same time, the government has come to the House with the Public Transportation Investment Bill 2026, which is designed to formalize government's investment in the National Bus Company, transfer public transportation assets, including terminals, to that company and grant it tax and duty exemptions. That creates a very serious question of fairness, ladies and gentlemen. How can government tell an independent bus operator that the public purse may not be able to support a diesel subsidy while government is simultaneously transferring state assets and granting tax and duty advantages to a company in which government itself hold interest? And we don't know what interest. This is not a level playing field.
The UDP supports safer, modern public transportation, but says state-backed companies should not receive special treatment. Belize may not have declared an El Niño emergency, but the warning signs are already here. Record-breaking heat has pushed 3 Central American countries into crisis and forced Panama to reduce traffic through its world-famous canal. Belize, meanwhile, has recorded below normal rainfall for most of the year. Senior climatologist Shyne Young says March was the only month that brought excessive rainfall. And if the current trend holds, the next dry season could bring a serious drought.
If this trend continues, and currently our forecast for the August, September, October month is from normal to below normal rainfall, based on what we have seen, except with the exceptions of the flood events that we have had. Even though we have had those, they only occur in like one day, and then there's little to no rain in many of the other days. We are still going on that trend of recording below normal. If that continues, especially into what is typically the peak of our hurricane season, and when we get the most rainfall in Belize, if that drying or below normal trend continues, then for us in the next dry season, even though we're not experiencing any significant drought as of this moment or any significant rainfall deficits, if it continues for the rest of the wet season into the next dry season, that is where for us here in Belize, we can expect the potential drought or severe water shortages in the upcoming dry season, especially if the El Niño phenomenon continues to strengthen, which it is forecasted to do up until the end of, or at least by the end of October. If that materializes, then we will potentially face water shortages in the next dry season.
El Niño is intensifying across Central America, putting Belize's agriculture sector at risk. Senior climatologist Shyne Young says farmers have been warned and policymakers are prepared for the forecast heat.
Those persons in those particular sectors are already aware of the potential impacts of this El Niño phenomenon. So they knew well in advance that this was possible, and we also shared with them what they could do to minimize or reduce the risk of if it does eventually strengthen, which it is now doing, and what those impacts would be so that they're able to prepare for it well in advance. And every month, the Ministry of Agriculture requests the rainfall for the previous month so that they continuously monitor and can advise the farmers on what to do. So what we need from our stakeholders is for them to tell us now if they have already started to observe any of the impacts that was forecasted previously. If they have, what is the status so that we can continue to monitor our forecast closely. But then if there's any major changes or like if it's going to get a lot worse than what we had previously anticipated, when we know what the current conditions on the ground are, we can do more tailored alerting and focus on those particular areas that would need more specialized warning.
Young noted that while the forecast is for suppressed hurricane development, it only takes one storm to cause major destruction. Still ahead, Josemai is back in the house, but the question surrounding his medical leave never left.
Muddy, playing in a whole heap of mud.
We actually started working out of an apartment with about 6 of us. It was only 9 of us.
About 15 of us, not sure where we were heading.
I came from Cancun, Mexico for an interview and I didn't go back.
First time working a big girl job.
And if you didn't know, you had to figure it out. I didn't know anything about plumbing, so I had to study YouTube.
We won the bid.
I definitely have to ask your boss to give you a raise. I plan on retiring here.
8:39 in the night, I'm still picking up the phone.
And each layer matters, guys.
I want to see or hear people say that Design Depot is a family.
Design Depot to me is like a family.
And we all combine to make this one beautiful Sunday dinner. I don't know who might be the salad, but 1, 2, 3. Never stop.
It's time for the 37th Annual CBU Media Awards. And once again, Greater Belize Media is regionally recognized with exceptional awards and special mentions. Best Social Media Content Creator Award, Benita Keme Palacio. Best Videographer Award, Rick Romero. Child Rights Champion, Children Who Inspire. Belize's Children's Parliament debates adolescent health access. Reporter, Brittany Gordon. And videographer, George Tillett. Child Rights Champion, investigative reporting story. Special ed students locked out of school for 2 days straight. Reporters, Paul Lopez and Brittany Gordon. Videographer, George Tillett. Best Comedy Item, Grinch Steals Christmas at GBM, Rick Romero, Sheena Smith, and Nisa Sanchez. Special mentions include Best Advertisement, Television, OIE 17th Anniversary, Sheena Smith. Best Production on Land Degradation Neutrality, Boston Village Fights Back Against Illegal Logging. Reporter, Paul Lopez. Videographer, Dennis Tucker and Cleon Barrow. Best News Story, TV. Captain and Passenger Save Flight from Hijacker. Reporter, Marian Ali. Videographer, Darrell Miguel. Graphics, Sheena Smith. Greater Belize Media, growing together.
Connection isn't something you switch on. It's something you build together.
Connected through culture.
Culture isn't preserved in silence. It's kept alive through participation.
Connected through education.
Education doesn't always look like a classroom. Sometimes it looks like someone taking the time to teach and someone else choosing to learn.
Connected through sports.
Before the wins, before the applause, there's belonging. Here, young people learn more than how to play. They learn how to stand together.
Connected through community.
Community isn't a campaign, it's showing up. Not once, but every time it matters.
Connected through you.
Behind every connection is a person who cares. People who listen. People who stay. We don't just connect services, we connect you to your world.
Connected through every chapter.
SMART, bringing people together.
A vacation in Belize could soon come with a much steeper price tag, and the opposition warns that the entire economy could feel the pinch. The United Democratic Party is sounding the alarm over government's proposal to raise the hotel accommodation tax from 9 to 12.5%. UDP Chair Sheena Pitts argues that, when combined with new aviation fees and rising operating costs, the increase could make Belize less competitive and force visitors to spend less once they arrive. She warns that any slowdown would extend far beyond hotels and tour operators, putting added pressure on taxi drivers, restaurant workers, artisans, and thousands of other Belizeans whose livelihoods depend on tourism.
Government's own 2026 tourism documents describe tourism as contributing approximately 40% of GDP when direct, indirect, and induced effects are included, and supported around 35,000 jobs. Yet, we have a proposed accommodation tax to increase from 9% to 12, or is it 12.5%? From 9% to 12.5%, over a 33% increase in tax rate. We call for the proposed hotel tax increase to be suspended until government can publish an independent economic impact assessment showing its likely effects on occupancy, visitor spending, employment, and small tourism businesses. But I will go further, and I hope you can join me. Let's demand that Honorable Anthony Mala account for the tourism monies. We also called for a review of the new domestic aviation fee and its cumulative impact on Belizeans. Tourism workers and visitors moving between destinations must not, absolutely not, be made to burden additional prices for moving inside their own countries, and tourists will get deterred from coming here.
The UDP also called for an immediate review of fuel taxes and a plan to keep fuel prices stable for businesses and public transportation. Josemai is back in the National Assembly, but questions surrounding his months-long medical leave have followed him through the doors. Reports allege that the former agriculture minister continued advising the government on sugar industry matters and retained the use of a government vehicle while away from office. Now, opposition leader Tracy Taegar-Panton is demanding answers. She says Belizeans deserve a full public account of any investigations into alleged wrongdoing and insists that public officials placed on administrative leave should not continue receiving taxpayer-funded benefits without proper transparency, oversight, and accountability.
The people of Belize are tired of this kind of flippant disregard for not holding those who need to be held to account. It is imperative that those of us who sit at the policy level, but also those of us who are citizens of this country, say to this administration, we will not accept the fact that we continue to protect those who are accused of wrongdoing without a full report to this nation as to what your findings have been. And there is no way we can accept that public resources continue to be used to bolster those who have been placed on administrative leave, removed from the executive because of allegations of wrongdoing.
Mike claims that while he retained a government-issued vehicle during his leave, he used it sparingly, insisting he does not abuse public resources. 2 senior resignations and just 8 months to prepare for municipal elections. That combination is fueling new questions about whether the UDP is ready for the campaign ahead. National Campaign Manager Julia Timbrell and Public Relations Committee Chair Audrey Wallace have left their leadership posts, but UDP leader Tracy Taegar-Panton says supporters should not mistake the changes for retreat. She insists both women remain committed to the party's rebuilding efforts and will continue working behind the scenes.
Both Ms. Audrey Wallace and Ms. Julia Timbrell are valuable members of the United Democratic Party. They have contributed and they continue to contribute to the rebuilding of the United Democratic Party. For reasons that are both personal and professional, they indicated to me that they're not able to take on the substantive role of being the chair of the Public Relations Committee or having to take on the role of National Campaign Manager, respectively. But make no mistake, they continue to work very closely with the leadership team. In fact, tomorrow morning, I will be on Wave Radio along with Ms. Timbrell. She continues to lead the charge in terms of the unraveling of the misuse of the public purse and public resources by the kind of work that she does, investigative work she's doing, and on Wave Radio and Wave Television. So let's not be distracted by those whose only intention is to try and create disruption or who try to undermine the efforts of this party to rebuild, to stand on its strongest leg, and to be ready to govern this country whenever the next elections are called.
We reached out to Wallace and Timbrell for their take on the situation, and while Timbrell did not respond, Wallace confirmed that she stepped away from the post due to personal reasons. The UDP may be facing questions about money, but party leader Tracy Taegar-Panton insists it will not enter the next municipal elections empty-handed or unprepared. With the March 2027 campaign drawing closer, many are questioning whether the party has the resources to field candidates and mount a competitive nationwide campaign. Taegar-Panton, however, says the UDP has heard those doubts before. She points to successful conventions and improvements at party headquarters as proof that detractors have repeatedly underestimated its ability to organize, rebuild, and deliver. Now, she is promising full slates in municipalities across the country, expressing confidence that the UDP will have both the candidates and the machinery needed to compete at the polls.
Not too long ago, when we had a convention in October of 2024, we were told there is no way we had the resources to do it. And then we had a convention in December of 2025, and the media touted the horn that no way we had the resources to do it. We came back to establish the headquarters, and you all were present when we got here, and you saw the level of disrepair and dysfunction, and the media joined the noise to say there's no way we could do it. I go further. There's been a lot of noise about the ability of the United Democratic Party to be able to have municipal slates in 9 municipalities, because according to the noise, we can't afford to bring the slates together and effectively compete. In March of 2027, I hope we can put that issue definitively to rest.
Taegar-Panton also encouraged the public to avoid listening to what she describes as political noise. The UDP's bitter leadership battle could soon carry a price tag of more than $1.4 million. Former party leader Moses Shyne Barrow is seeking to expand his ongoing court challenge against Tracy Taegar-Panton by adding financial claims linked to the party's leadership dispute and the October 2024 Unity Convention. But UDP Chair Sheena Pitts says reports of a new lawsuit are misleading. Speaking at a press conference today, Pitts explained that Barrow is attempting to amend the case already before the court, not launch a separate legal action. The original dispute remains unresolved, and the court must first decide whether the additional claims will form part of the proceedings.
There is no new lawsuit by Mr. Barrow against the Honorable Panton or the party. If you could recall, after the October 2024 conventions, he did take and ask the court for interim relief after we had occupied the headquarters, and we were in court for that. You saw when our lawyer flew in, and you saw when we gave interviews on it. It is that same case. He has now sought a way to change and include a claim for money as against the Honorable Panton. So there is nothing new. Same old lawsuit, and the matter is before the court. In law, we say it's sub judice, and so as a counsel, I cannot, with good sense, disclose any further than I have.
Barrow wants damages for property losses, legal fees, lost parliamentary income, reputational harm, and personal distress. After the break, the lights may flicker, but Carnival refuses to fade for Powerhouse Bands Ignite Mass Camp Night 3.
As a sheetrock installer for decor construction, I know the job is only as good as the materials I use. Using inferior products can lead to more waste, weak coat integrity, sagging, and more time fixing the problem instead of finishing the job right. And that's why I trust USG Drywall, Ply-Sem, and base screws from Venice, because quality is savings.
Quality is savings at Benny's. Best for you and best for me. At Benny's, it's the quality. Benny's, quality and savings.
Introducing BB Insurance, built for Belize. Your security, our priority.
Get ready, Belize! On September 5th, the streets come alive with color, culture, music, and pure Belizean energy as GBM brings you the 2026 Carnival Road March. One country, one rhythm, one carnival, and you won't miss a moment. GBM will be live from the start of the road march until the final beat, bringing you the sights, sounds, excitement, interviews, performances, and all the action along the way. September 5th, 2026, starting at 2 p.m. Whether you're on the road or watching from home, GBM is bringing the carnival to you, live, non-stop, and up close. We got the rhythm, we got the vibes, we got the carnival. GBM Carnival Road March 2026. One country, one rhythm, one carnival.
Changing. At home, families are using more devices, smarter appliances, and connected technology. Across the country, businesses are growing, industries are expanding, and communities are finding new ways to live, work, and move forward. Behind that progress, the energy system must continue to grow with Belize. At BL, modernizing the grid is part of preparing for what comes next. A grid with greater visibility, more accurate information, and better tools to manage energy as needs change. Through investment in digital systems, upgraded infrastructure, and improved monitoring, BEL is strengthening how electricity is managed and delivered across the country. Not just for today's needs, but for the future Belize is building. As new technology emerges, from solar generation to community energy systems, the grid must be ready to support them safely, reliably, and sustainably. This is the work of modernization, step by step, system by system, community by community, helping prepare Belize for a more connected, resilient, and sustainable energy future.
Need to submit your sickness benefit claim online and have a physical medical certificate? Here's how you can do it. First, go to ssbportal.org.bz and log into your My Social Security account. Next, on your dashboard, click Benefits and choose Forms. Review the requirements, then click Continue to proceed. Click Apply under Sickness Benefit to start your claim. Review and confirm your banking information. If it is not correct, select No and follow the steps to update your banking details. If your banking information is correct, select Yes. Next, if your illness is not related to an injury at work, select No and proceed to upload your medical certificate. Select your claim period and confirm your employer details. Read the declarations and click each to agree. Click Submit and you're done. A confirmation email will be sent to you. Your employer will also receive an email with your claim details and a request for your salary information. If needed, submit your sickness benefit claim online and receive real-time status updates.
Get a smart start this new school year with deals you don't want to miss. Get a prepaid device starting at just $235. Choose from the TCL 503, Honor Play 10, Samsung A07, Samsung A17, and more. Every prepaid device purchase includes a free starter package with minutes, data, and SMS to get you started. Students and teachers, sign up for a Trio postpaid plan and enjoy 50% off for 3 months. Bundle your Trio plan with a postpaid data plan and get a free MiFi. Start the school year powered up with a postpaid power pack, including a device and your postpaid plan deposit, starting at $275. Plus, new students and teachers that sign up for their postpaid bundle get their first month free. Power up for back to school with Smart. Smart, bringing people together.
The weather may be unsettled and the power supply uncertain, but nothing is dimming the energy of Carnival tonight. It is night 3 of the mass camp visits, and just like the judges, we are making stops at 4 powerhouse camps across Belize City. We begin with the junior bands Jump Street Posse and Soca Massive, before turning the spotlight on senior bands Sunshine Masqueraders and Mother Nature's Creation. Shane Williams is live at the Jump Street Posse camp, where tonight's carnival excitement is already building. Shane, take it away.
Good evening, Belize, and welcome to night 3 of GBM's coverage of Carnival Mass Camp. The momentum is building towards the road march. Remember this year's theme, one rhythm, one people, one carnival. We have several treats for you tonight, but right now we are at Jump Street Posse Carnival Band. They're one of the oldest, most successful bands in Belize's history. We're here with band leader Shelly. Shelly, the energy is high. What can we expect furthermore tonight?
Listen, these kids are resilient. They came to my mom. We did not plan to have carnival this year, but they just kept coming. She was in retirement last year, so I thought, but I started getting calls. These kids just show up. They want something to do during the summer months. That's how we got founded, is because we needed something to do during the summer. And so I was a dancer. So what a great opportunity. I started bringing friends. We were just dancing on the street. Carnival group was formed.
No, for all these years of success, you have always delivered powerful themes. What's the theme this year?
This year, the theme came from them. These kids, oh man. So, Lost World, everyone knows that about, they think about dinosaurs, they think about, Jurassic Park. But our team is before that happens. When you enter into that beautiful space that reminds you of the pristine, very pristine areas of Belize. So we have 3 sections. We're focused on the air, the flora, and the things that crawl deep beneath the leaves. So Mystique is depicted by beautiful, majestic, effervescent dragonflies. Then we have the flora, because Belize is known for its flora and fauna. So we have beautiful red bells, we have sapphires, and then we wanted to do something a little bit, something with a little bit of So we said, there's also beauty in the insects that crawl. So we have spiders, we have snakes, we call them stingers, right? So we have Mystique, our flowers are the antidote, and then the stingers. So that's how we're displaying it. But it's based on the oversized concept of the Lost World, and also, those creatures are always lost in the big, beautiful, majestic areas of Belize, so we wanted to bring attention to that. But yeah, the kids love wings, they love, costumes that, that are mystical, that are fun. So this is for them, by them.
Now, we know that we saw you in there just now working hard to get this together. Tell us about the work it takes to get your creative headquarters going and keep it going?
Listen, straight off the jump, playing to the Fed. I literally just ran in here and helped my mom. All these costumes were designed by her. It's only 2 people that work that camp. I don't. I just try to give her some guidance, you know. We had a lot of things happen that made us want to step back. The carnival's getting a little dicey, but the kids keep us going. So preparation started very, very early because an idle mind is a lost mind. And if it's something she wanted to do, I wanted to encourage her to do it. She's older now, so this is a good focus for her. But it is blood, sweat, and tears under that tent. And I want people to know that my mom has been doing this for 43 years, right? And there's some respect that goes with that. Most of the band leaders have masks with Jump Street. And that's epic to see them bloom and the way they are. Oh man, give it up to my girl Pauline. We used to be dancers together. Patty, we used to dance together. David Mathis, him and I went to school together. There's lots of history. And I love to see it. And they're amazing.
And as a former dancer yourself and someone who has been around, what does this mean for the kids and the confidence it builds in them expressing themselves out here and throughout the Carnival Road March?
Listen, dance is a form of expression. Dance occupies the mind. Dance is something that the kids need. We need to invest in the dance culture back in Belize. They only have September celebrations to truly express themselves. Give them a space to do this. We love to see them out here like this. This is a passion of ours. We do Jump Street because we love kids.
And finally for me, let's give your mom her flowers. Tell us about why you're here supporting your mom.
You know, my mom was a little bit defeated. We had a break-in and they destroyed the costumes 2 years ago when we came out. And so we ended Carnival on a really, you know, kind of negative note. So she just wanted to come back and show like, listen, I can do this. I got this. I started this. So I just wanted to have her come out with a little bit of dignity, respect, and I hope the other bands acknowledge that.
Perfect. Love it very much, Shelly. Thank you much. There you have Shelly, band leader for Jump Street Posse. Of course, as I said, Jump Street Posse is one of the oldest, most successful bands in Carnival, over 40 years. Formerly of Wagner's Lane, they are now on Rio Grande Crescent. And I have a very, very special guest with me here. We have Janet, who is the Carnival Queen for Jump Street Posse. I saw you doing your thing at the Belize Civic Center and you're still doing it here tonight. Tell us about why you love participating in Carnival. I love the energy.
Well, basically I love participating because the first time I entered Jump Street, it was like, man, and I say, well, I'll try next year again. Following year again, next year again, next year again. Until I hear the breaking news that they say they won't come out this year. Man, I said, well, next year we have to do this. And we did it.
And you're back.
Back again.
Tell us about your queen costume.
I was presenting Queen Andromeda, meaning Australian of the mysterious creatures.
And you performed your heart out tonight. Mass Camp, you're inviting us into your home. Yes. What do you got to say to people who are still on their way to visit your Mass Camp where you are creating all these beautiful costumes?
Come out and join Jump Street. Now, tomorrow, Carnival Day, whenever.
All right.
We're inviting you guys.
Anybody is one big up right now, support you?
Mama.
Call your man name, big up.
Brittany Bermuda Schools.
There you go. There you have it from our Carnival Queen. We have another special guest here tonight. I remember interviewing you over there, Nelson. You had energy at the Belize Civic Center, boy, and you still have it out here again tonight. Tell us why you enjoy participating in Carnival.
I enjoy it because I love to dance and I know how to move my waist nice.
No, you know how to move your waist nice. Not all of we know how to move your waist. Tell you what it takes to have the proper technique, the proper wine to deliver for our Carnival, especially as our king.
Well, I would say you have to watch the video to know how legal phone people who wine and thing. Right after the Netherlands.
You hear it there, at home. You need to watch some videos, study some tips to make sure you have the proper wine for Carnival Road March. Remember, the theme for this year, one rhythm, one people, one carnival. GBM will be continuing our coverage up until the road march. We will make sure you are there. We have more tonight. Tonight from here we're going to Soca Massive, who has the Carnival Queen and second place in the Carnival King. Then we're going to Sunshine Masqueraders Senior Band. And finally we're closing our night at Mother Nature's Creation at YWCA. So make sure you see us out there. For now, we're going to take it back to studios, but we will be out here. We are prepared. We have our raincoats, we have our rain boots, we have everything. GBM is live, Mass Camp, Belize, Carnival 2026.
Tune in tomorrow for night 4 of GBM's Carnival Mass Camp coverage. Up next, Belize honors 3 cultural trailblazers preserving the country's stories, rhythms, and traditions.
Connection isn't something you switch on. It's something you build together.
Connected through culture.
Culture isn't preserved in silence. It's kept alive through participation.
Connected through education.
Education doesn't always look like a classroom. Sometimes it looks like someone taking the time to teach and someone else choosing to learn.
Connected through sports.
Before the win, before the applause, there's belonging. Here, young people learn more than how to play. They learn how to stand together.
Connected through community.
Community isn't a campaign, it's showing up. Not once, but every time it matters.
Connected through you.
Behind every connection is a person who cares. People who listen. People who stay. We don't just connect services, we connect you to your world.
Connected through every chapter.
SMART, bringing people together.
With everything going on in a day, it's easy to overlook a renewal date. That's why Home Protector Insurance sends a simple reminder to help keep you on track. Home Protector Insurance. If it's worth something, insure it.
Sport is more than a game. It builds discipline, it creates opportunity, it strengthens communities, and it brings a nation together. But building the future of sport in Belize requires more than talent. It requires vision, investment, partnership, and action. This September, Belize comes together for the first ever Belize National Sports Summit 2026, a national conversation about where we are, where we want to go, and what it will take to transform sport in Belize. From stronger sports governance and better facilities to youth participation, athlete development, health and wellness, financing, inclusion, and sports tourism. Let's build the future of sport. Let's build stronger communities. Let's build Belize. The Belize National Sports Summit 2026 comes alive September 2nd and 3rd at the Belize Civic Center.
Belize's roads are going electric, whether commuters are ready or not. Electric cars, buses, scooters, and bicycles are becoming more visible, while the government invests in the infrastructure needed to power the transition. But with many Belizeans still questioning the cost and reliability of electric vehicles, will they embrace the change or get left behind? Shane Williams explores the road ahead.
For years, this has been the most beautiful sound for car enthusiasts, the powerful roar of a fine-tuned engine. Every day, thousands of noisy vehicles crisscross our streets, carrying Belizeans to work, school, the shops, and back home. For many of us, life without the hum of a combustible engine is unfamiliar. But listen closely to this electric Senegal E400, and you'll notice something unusual. No engine roar, just silence. The future may sound a lot like pre-independence Belize. Neil Hall is the e-mobility coordinator for Belize City, the municipality setting the pace for e-mobility in Belize.
Because if we're a city with low carbon expenditure and a more quiet combustion type vehicle, you are winning on noise pollution and carbon emission.
On the surface, it sounds straightforward. Still, quieter streets and fewer carbon emissions may not be enough to get Belizeans on board with a complete transportation overhaul. And government is well aware of this challenge.
The initial cost of an electric vehicle could be pretty expensive, but the long-term usage, because gas at this point in time, as you know, the price is very volatile, and we have no real control over that. But when it comes to electric mobility or electric vehicles, the charging or to charge an electric vehicle and to use it over the same space, right? If you were running from Belize City to Kyle, you'll find out that it's much cheaper.
And that's the pitch businesses like E-Evolution Limited are making to potential clients. Because ultimately, it all comes down to dollars and cents.
When you buy a diesel vehicle or a gas vehicle, you could say, let's say you pay $30,000 for a newer model vehicle. You're still going to pay a gas, which would then come up to the price of an electric vehicle compared to buying an electric vehicle for, let's say, $60,000, and you pay $20 in electricity or energy to charge that vehicle, and it could get you from here to PG. For $20, you can't beat that.
While there is no cost-benefit analysis yet published for private vehicles in Belize, the data for the city's e-transit pilot project strongly favors a transition to electric vehicles. An assessment done in 2025 shows a 41% reduction in energy costs when using electric vehicles. And even with the council's high administrative and management costs, the payback period is projected to be just 9 years. The payback period for a more conservative operational model is just about 4 years. This is why the council is all in on expanding its e-mobility program, and why both government and the private sector are pushing for the entire public transportation system to embrace e-mobility. Shane Williams reporting for News 5.
Tomorrow, Shane Williams will look at the push and offers available to have national buses, city buses, taxis, and even dollar vans transition to electric vehicles. Belize's rich cultural heritage is being celebrated as the National Celebrations Commission announces this year's first 3 recipients of the Creative and Cultural Excellence Awards. The honorees are being recognized for their lasting contributions to Belizean literature, cultural preservation, and the protection of indigenous knowledge. Poet and author Margaret Reynolds is this year's recipient of the Z. Edgell Award for Literary Arts, while master drummer and cultural ambassador Emmett Young receives the Leela Vernon Award for his work safeguarding and promoting cultural heritage. And Yucatec Maya leader and educator Felicita Cantun is the recipient of the Don Eligio Panti Award, honoring her efforts to protect and develop indigenous knowledge and keep Maya traditions alive. Here are Margaret Reynolds and Emmett Young.
Increase your view about how others feel. It is basically leaning towards teaching you to be empathetic. 501 from way back, we had the Poet Society. I was a founding member in that. In June of 2013, we had our first show. From the very first night, we had a crowd and the exchange was great. I met a lot of new poets that night, younger poets, and from that moment on, the decision was made, we can't stop, we need to continue with this. Z. Edgell, she's a painter with words. Her writing, it brings you in, right? It brings you in. So when I heard about the award, I felt really good.
Culture is very special and unique, and culture is what drives a community. If you don't know your culture, then you are totally lost. I was a lead drummer for Leela Vernon Dance Company, the Ebolites. For me, this is a very special time and moment to know that come so far. It was amazing to work with her, and she gave me a lot of knowledge about myself, about culture, and the importance of culture. I love to share the cultural knowledge, whether it's drumming, cooking, farming, fishing. Those are all traditions of the village that need to live on. And by teaching the youth, this is the only way that this is going to live on. So that's what I do.
The awards celebrate Belizeans whose work continues to shape, preserve, and pass on cultural identity of the nation. More awardees will be announced in the coming days. A countrywide blackout may have plunged Belize into darkness last night, but that did not stop KTV fans from packing the Bliss Center for the Performing Arts to see their favorite artists perform one last time under the bright lights. After weeks of competition, 12 voices were narrowed to 3. Country singer Trevitt Campos, the passionate Tiana Sterling, and missionary Jedson Baker. Shane Williams was there for reactions when a new champion of KTV The Remix Season 8 was announced.
I like this crowd over here.
The lights may have went out across the country, but the show went on, and inside the Bliss was packed with fans who have supported Jedson Baker, Trevitt Campos, and Tiana Sterling all the way through to this big announcement.
Finishing in first place, which means the grand champion of KTV The Remix Season 8 is Trevitt Campos.
I never try to put my hat higher on my head, you know, but I know that I put in the work, and once I put in the work, it will pay off.
And paid off it did. But this cowboy's journey nearly ended before it began. An accident almost forced him to miss a crucial audition.
I'm late from the picture. I like, man, I hope that people are not dash me out of this competition, you know. But, you know, I had an accident, you know, and, you know, I called and made arrangements too. But, I mean, how do you know?
She's a feeling like I've never known. She's the fire burning down him.
Fortunately, he still made the cut. And after weeks of rehearsals, performances, and campaigning for votes, Trevor Campos is champion of KTV The Remix Season 8, claiming the $10,000 grand prize.
It's an overwhelming feeling. I don't know how to feel right now.
His mother encouraged him to sing from a young age, and this year she was the one who signed him up for KTV.
They're everything. If it wasn't because of my mom, my family, my aunt, and you know, my dad, and you know, my sponsors, it never may be possible. And especially my mom, you know, she's the one that pushed me. We call she the momager.
For first runner-up Tiana Sterling, the competition may have ended without the grand prize, but she says she leaves the season with no regrets.
You know, I had fun while doing it, and I never make it like a beat me up to the point as to whereby I feel defeated. I just feel energetic and I feel happy with the result, and I was glad for the season.
Judson Baker.
And third place finisher Judson Baker says the competition gave him something he never expected when he first came to Belize: household recognition.
I feel like I've gone from being like, you know, who's this white guy in Publix, this tourist or what? And now people recognize me, people know my face, people know my name, so I'm honored by that. You know, when I came to Belize, I never would have expected that.
For Campos though, the championship is only the beginning. He plans to invest his winnings.
Well, I'm gonna buy some coal. Then after that, I'll, you know, try to pursue the music career. So I just ask for the same support that my fans gave me on this show.
Belize's premier talent show once again delivered the entertainment, laughter, inspiring moments, and new household names. Stay tuned for Greater Belize Media's next Great Belizean experience. Shane Williams reporting for News 5.
The love of a woman like you. Thank y'all. Thank y'all.
And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available at greaterbelize.com, on our Facebook, and on YouTube. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us, and from all of us here at News 5, good night.